Hello everyone, I am Praveen Singh and welcoming you all in this online session of the 100 most important topics. Once again, topics for UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Exam 2026. And under this, what we are doing, we are covering those topics which are really very important for your prelims examination or upcoming prelims examinations. So as I have already told my in previous videos that I am not going to cover the topics in detail. I am going to touch only on those aspects of the topics which are really important for your exam. So without wasting time, let us start our topic. And the first topic that I am going to cover is about the temple architecture. So you all might be aware that in ancient and early medieval period, three prominent styles of temple architecture flourished in different parts of India, and those are Nagara temple architecture style flourished in northern part of India. Then the Dravida, it developed in the southern part of India or south to the river Krishna. And the third one is the Vesara. It was a hybrid style, a synthesis style, a mixed style covering the features of Nagara and as well as Dravida temple architecture, developed in the Deccan region, or more precisely between the Vindhyan range to river Krishna, known as Vesara. So first, starting with Nagara temple. See, you must know that under this topic, UPSC is asking what type of question. Firstly, UPSC is asking on concept related, terms related, concept and terms related question, and the second one is about important temples and their location. Clear? These two elements you must keep in mind. So let us first understand few conceptual aspects, terms related aspect related to the Nagara temple. So Nagara temple flourished where? In the northern part of India. Normally, dear, it is built, Nagara temple is built over a raised platform, and this raised platform is called Jagti. The most important part of the temple is the square shape Garbhagriha or sanctum, and then the curvilinear tower that is built over the Garbhagriha. Curvilinear structure that is built over the Garbhagriha is called Shikhara or tower. Then we have a stone disc placed at the top of the Shikhara known as Amlak or Amlaka. And then we have a sacred pot known as Kalas. And at the top we have flag or dhwaj symbolizing the victory over evils, victory over dark, good over evil. Garbhagriha symbolizes the center or the center point of the creation of the universe. This Shikhar symbolizes the Mount Meru that is located at the center point of this entire world. Garbhagriha. Then in the front of the Garbhagriha we have Mandapa. So this is the very simple diagrammatic representation of the Nagara temples. Now, here and one more point. This is the pillar-based hall Mandapa. Here devotees gather for worship, and this one is called Antarala. Antarala. Antarala that connects. Antarala is basically a corridor that connects Mandapa and the Garbhagriha. Then we have balcony or corridors that surrounds Garbhagriha, and this is called Pradakshina Path or circumambulatory path. Each and every element, organ, parts of the temple has its own philosophical importance, has its own philosophical explanation or interpretation. Now, few terms related aspect that you must keep in mind. In Nagara temples, normally we have three types of Shikhar. The Shikhar or the tower that is built over the Garbhagriha is called normally Rekha, Prasad or Latina. Then we have one more type of Garbhagriha that is normally built over the Mandapa, and it is called Famsana. And the third one, which was not frequently built, that was built occasionally, rarely, and that Shikhar is called Vallabhi. Vallabhi Shikhar. What is the difference? In the Rekha Prasad, base is square shape and it is curving towards the point. So the Rekha Prasad is basically curvy linear. Remember, very, very important. Rekha Prasad is what? Curvy linear. Then this Famsana, it is not, you can say, not very lengthy one. It is broader than the Rekha Prasad. Its base is broader, much broader than what? Than the Rekha Prasad. Then coming on to the Vallabhi. Vallabhi, the base of the Vallabhi is what? Is rectangular base, and at the top we have the vaulted structure. Vaulted structure. So base of the Vallabhi Shikhar is rectangular. Base of the Rekha Prasad is square, and Famsana is not very large, it's not very lengthy. Getting my points? It is broader than what? Than the Rekha Prasad. Clear? So this is, these three are very, very important. Then we have a few more terms like Sandhar, Nirandhar, and Sarvato Bhadra. Sandhar. If the temples has a Pradakshina Path or circumambulatory path, that temple is called Sandhara temple or Sandhar temple. Nirandhar, if the temple is devoid of Pradakshina Path, that is called Nirandhar. And Sarvato Bhadra, if the temple has Pradakshina Path and 4 entry gate, so that temple is called Sarvato Bhadra. One more terms, my dear, and that is Panchayatan. Panchayatan. What is Panchayatan? In a very simple terms, group of 5 temples. Here we have, at the center, we have the main temples. Then 4 subsidiary temple. 4 subsidiary temple. So group of 5 temples. Considered as what? Panchayatan. Main temple, suppose this is the temple of Shiva, then we have the temple of Parvati, then Nandi, then Ganesh and the Kartikeya. So that temple will be called what? Panchayatan style of temple. So remember, these terms are very, very important. So conceptual and term related part I have covered. Now let us understand the history of the Nagara temple, its evolution and the development. In the Gupta period, the beginning initial phase of the Nagara temples. Initial temples in the Gupta period. Getting my point? Not built over a raised platform, and they were devoid of pradakshina path, like temples at Sanchi. See, in Sanchi, we have Hindu temples related to the Gupta period, but those temples have no pradakshina path and no jagati or no raised platform. Then later we have the jagati, but still no pradakshina path, like Nachna Kuthar temple. Nachna Kuthar temple, where MP. Getting my point? And in the third stage, we have raised platform, that is Jagati. We have Pradakshina Path and plus Shikhar. So here in the first stage, no Shikhar, no Pradakshina Path, no raised platform. In the second stage, we have the raised platform, but normally normally no Pradakshina Path, no Shikhar. But in the third stage, we have Pradakshina Path, covered Pradakshina Path, Jagati was there, and also the Shikhar. And one of the earliest temples in India where we have the evidence of the Shikhar is Dasavatar temple. Dasavatar temple. Where is Dasavatar temple? It is in Devgarh. Where is Devgarh? Uttar Pradesh, in the Bundelkhand region, Lalitpur district. So, earliest temple where we have the evidence of the Shikhar curvilinear tower or Rekha Prasad. Example is Dasavatar temple. So, remember, this is very, very important. Now, few more things about the temples that was built in the Gupta period. Temples in the Gupta period were of two types. One is called the rock cut temple and the second one is called structural temple. I have in my previous video already discussed about the rock cut temple. So we have the Varaha temple. Where at Udaygiri. Which Udaygiri? The Udaygiri located at Vidisha district, Madhya Pradesh. So one of the earliest Hindu rock cut temple. Now, whatever I have discussed here, all these temples, the temples at Sanchi, Nachna Kuthar, then Tigwa Vishnu temple. Where is Tigwa? Madhya Pradesh. Then this Dasavatar temple, Uttar Pradesh. All are structural temples. Now, the structural temples were built either by sandstone or bricks. Like we have Lakshman temple, where B is equal to Bhitargaon, where it is in Uttar Pradesh, and one Lakshman temple made of bricks. Made of what? Bricks. It is located in Chhattisgarh. So the name of the temple, Lakshman temple, but the temple related to Lord Vishnu, made of bricks, and remaining temples made of sandstone. So that was all about the temples built in the Gupta period. Now we are moving towards, after Gupta, the North India was occupied by Gurjar Pratihara rulers. So they built temples in Rajasthan, they built temples in Madhya Pradesh, particularly in the Gwalior and in the Morena region. Near Jodhpur, we have a place called Oshia. Here, Gurjar Pratihara rulers built several temples, like Harihar temple, like Sachiya Mata temple, like Sun temples, like Jaina temples. In Madhya Pradesh, Gwalior, we have the Teli Ka Mandir. Teli Ka Mandir. This temple looks like what? Looks like Dravidian style. Dravidian style, but it is actually not a Dravidian temple. It's a little bit look like what? Dravidian style. It was built in the reign of the most powerful Gurjar Pratihara ruler, Mihir Bhoj. Then in the Morena district of Madhya Pradesh, we have Bateshwar group of temple and Nareshwar group of temples. Bateshwar and Nareshwar group of temples. Here we have more than 25 temples. More than 25 temples. So that was all about what? The Pratiharas. Then from here we are moving towards the Kalinga. Kalinga, that is Odisha. In Odisha, at that time, means early medieval age. Two dynasties ruled. One is Soma dynasty, and the second one was the Gang or the Eastern Gang dynasty. Soma rulers like Jajati Kesari in Bhuvaneshwar built Lingaraja temple. Where? In the Bhuvaneshwar built Lingaraja temple. This temple is, you can say, a mixture of Shiva and Lord Vishnu, also known as Harihar temple. The Lingaraja located where? In the Bhuvaneshwar, and this is the most finest temple, finest Nagara temples located where? In Bhuvaneshwar. In Bhuvaneshwar we have other temples as well, like Raja Rani temple, Betal Deul temple, Mukteshwar temple, but this temple is very, very important. So it was built by the rulers of Soma dynasty, Jajati Kesari, in 11th century AD. Then here at Puri, the founder of Eastern Gang dynasty, Anantavarman Gang, built Jagannath temple. Where? Puri. In 11th century AD. See, this Jagannath temple built in the 11th century and this Lingaraja temple of Bhuvaneshwar built in the 11th century. Now, mid of the 13th century, climax of the Kalinga architecture, and remember the Kalinga architecture is the part of the Nagara temple style. So here we have Sun temple, and where is this Sun temple? Konark. You already knew this is the World Heritage Site. It was built by Narsimha Varman Gang. Remember the name of the ruler, Narsimha Varman Gang. Built by which material? Granite material. And by the European sailors, they called this temple as what? Pagoda or Black Pagoda. Who called it? European sailors. And they used this Konark Sun temple to locate what? The location of or the various parts of India. So that was all about the Kalinga. Then moving towards the Central India. In Central India, we have Chandela dynasty. Chandela dynasty, dear. Chandela rulers, they built several temples, multiple temples. Where? At Khajuraho. There was a time, Khajuraho is where? It is in Madhya Pradesh, Bundelkhand region. Khajuraho. There was a time when the total number of temples at Khajuraho was around 75. Right now, around 25 temples are survived. The most important temples of Khajuraho is Kandariya Mahadev. Kandariya Mahadev temple. Kandariya Mahadev temple. It was built by Vidyadhar Chandel. Getting my point? Built by Vidyadhar Chandel. In which century? Answer is 11th century AD. Vidyadhar Chandel. Clear? Now let us at Khajuraho we have other temples as well. Like we have Chausat Yogini. Chausat Yogini temple. Chausat Yogini temple. Where? Khajuraho. At Khajuraho we have temples related to Saivism, related to Vaishnavism, related to Saktism, and also related to Jainism. So far as we have no temples related to Buddhism. Where? At Khajuraho. And Khajuraho is World Heritage Site, declared World Heritage Site around 1986, located near to which river? Near to the Kudar river. Few other features of the temples at Khajuraho are, here, suppose this is the Shikhar, so within the Shikhar we have so many smaller Shikhars as well. So many smaller Shikhars. Let me show you by the image. See here. Within the main tower or Shikhar we have several miniature towers. Several miniature tower, and these miniature towers are called Uru Sring. Called what, dear? Called Uru Sring. Getting my point? Uru Sring. See here, we have this Rekha Prasad. Here we have the Famsana Shikhar. Uru Sring. And the second thing that is important about the temples at Khajuraho, the exterior wall of the temples are richly carved, and they are also famous for erotic images. Erotic images, where the exterior wall of the Khajuraho temples. So that was all about temples at Khajuraho. From here we are moving towards the Rajasthan and Gujarat. Here, in the early medieval phase, temples built by Solanki or Chalukya rulers. Important temples, Sun Temple, where Modhera, Sun Temple, Modhera. Then Shiva Temple or Somnath, Shiva Temple, where Gujarat, Prabhas. Who built the Sun Temple, Modhera? Answer is Bhim first. Who rebuilt the Shiva Temple or the Somnath Shiva Temple? Once again, Bhim first. Then from here we are moving towards Rajasthan's Mount Abu, and here we have beautiful Jaina temples. Mount Abu Dilwara. Temples built in the reign of the Solanki or the Chalukya rulers of Anhilwada or Gujarat. But these temples at Dilwara, Mount Abu, Rajasthan, actually built by their Jaina ministers like Vimal Deva, Vastupal, Tejpal. And remember, dear, that the temples at Dilwara, Mount Abu are not very massive, but their interior is highly decorated. Temples are short or small in heights, they are not massive. Getting my point? And the second thing that you must keep in mind, that the Jaina temples of Dilwara represents India's earliest temples completely made of white marble. Remember this point. The Dilwara Jaina temples, Rajasthan, represents India's earliest temples made completely by white marble. Then the second thing that you should or you must keep in mind, the temples that are built by the Solanki rulers of Gujarat, sometimes also known as Maru style. Maru style and part of Nagara temples. In Gujarat, many temples, near to the temples, we have the step tank. Near to the temples, we have the step tank. So that was all about the Nagara style of temples. Clear? So from here, moving towards the next topic, and next topic is Dravida temple. Dravida temples. Flourished in which region? Answer is in the southern part of India or south to the river Krishna. South to the river Krishna. So here we have the flourishment of the Dravida style of temple. The construction of Dravida style of temples first of all started by Pallava rulers of Kanchipuram, and then it reached to its climax in the reign of the Chola rulers of Thanjavur or Tanjore. So in the early medieval period, the Dravida temple reached to its finest form in the reign of the Chola rulers of Tanjore or Tanjavur. So now let us understand few conceptual and terms related parts associated with the Dravida temple. Unlike Nagara temples, Dravida temples do not build over a raised platform. Like Nagara temples, once again, the most important, the most sacred part of the Dravida temple is the Garbhagriha or sanctum. Garbhagriha or sanctum. Then here we have the Shikhara, the pyramidal tower. In the Nagara we have the curvilinear tower, but here the tower is pyramidal shape and the tower here called Vimana. Remember this point. Then at the top of the tower or the Vimana we have a dome shaped structure. Called Stupika. Let me show you the image. See here, this is the Vimana, and at the top we have the dome shaped structure called Stupika. Getting my point? Then here we have pillar based Mandapa, and if suppose the temple belongs to the Shiva, then we have a separate shrine for Nandi. Now this whole temple complex is surrounded by a wall, and this wall is known as Prakara. And the gateway, my dear, gateway of this Prakara or the entire temple complex is called Gopuram. And Gopuram is highly decorated part. See here, this is the Gopuram of the Brihadeshwara temple. See, here you can see the Shikhar is what? A type of Vallabhi, vaulted ceiling, base rectangular. Clear? So conceptual part, I think clear. Vimana you must keep in mind and Gopuram must keep in mind. So now let us understand the growth, the evolution, the growth, flourishment of the Dravida temples mainly in the reign of the Pallavas and in the reign of the Chola rulers. So starting with what? The Pallavas. In Pallava, the first prominent ruler associated with the temple building architecture was Mahendravarman first. So he built rock cut temples, and the rock cut temples that was built by Mahendravarman first, known as Mandapa style of temple. It was a rock cut temples, not well decorated one. It was you can say the initial phase of the evolution of the Dravida temples. So the temples built by Mahendravarman first, known as Mahendravarman style or Mandapa style, and their temples was of rock cut temples. So the very famous temple built by Mahendravarman first was at the Mandagapattu, Tamil Nadu. And here we have the statue of Shiva, Vishnu and Brahma, one of the earliest temples in South India where we have the statue of Brahma, Shiva and Vishnu, Mandagapattu. Clear? Mandagapattu. Then the second is what? Second is the Narasimhavarman first. Narasimhavarman first, the son of Mahendravarman first, he built two types of temple. One is called Mandapa, that is pure rock cut temple, and the second one is called Rath temple, that is monolithic temple. And where he built that? Answer is Mahabalipuram. His title was Mamal. In fact, he was considered as the founder of Mamalpuram or city of Mahabalipuram. So at Mahabalipuram, remember, the Pallava monuments at Mahabalipuram are under UNESCO's World Heritage Site. So here he constructed two types of temple. One is rock cut temples known as Mandapa style of temple, and the second one, the monolithic temples known as Rath type of temple. So let us understand the temples built by Narasimhavarman first by the image. See, here we have the Bhim Rath, monolithic, made of single stone. Then this is Nakul and Sahadev Rath. Then we have Ganesh Rath. Then we have Draupadi Rath. And among the Rath temple, the largest one is what? Is the Dharmaraja Rath. And here we have the statue of Narasimhavarman first as well. Statue of Narasimhavarman first, carved sculpture of whom? Of Narasimhavarman first. So the largest Rath temple at Mahabalipuram is Dharmaraja, and the smallest one is the Draupadi Rath. Clear? Then this is what? These are the example of rock cut temples built by Narasimhavarman first. So where? At Mahabalipuram. So this is what? This is, let me show you. Oh, one image is missing. So at Mahabalipuram, Narasimhavarman first built Mahishasur Mardini cave. In the interior, we have the carved sculpture of Mahishasur Mardini cave. Here, goddess Durga killing whom? The demon Mahishasur. Then second one is the Varaha Mandap. Once again built by whom? Built by Narasimhavarman first. Then in the third stage, in the Pallava dynasty, there came an important ruler whose name was Narasimhavarman II, and his title was Raj Simha. So he built structural temples, that is independently erected temples. So the temples built by Narasimhavarman II is called Raj Simha style, independently erected temple. So this is the example of, or the name of this temple is Kailasnath temple, where? Kanchipuram. And the Sur temples. Here we have the temples of Shiva and the Vishnu. Sur temples located where? Mahabalipuram. Built by whom? Built by Raj Simha or Narasimhavarman II. Then now we are in the last stage of the Pallava temples, and the last stage is called the Nandivarman style. We have a ruler Nandivarman, so he built several temples in parts of Tamil Nadu, and the temples built by Nandivarman called or known as Nandivarman style. So here the temples built by Nandivarman are of structural temples, but these are normally smaller than the temples built by Narasimhavarman II. So the first Mahendravarman style or Mandapa style, second Mamal style or Narasimhavarman first style. Under Mamal style we have two types of temple, Mandapa, that is rock cut temple, and Rath, that is monolithic temple. In the third stage, we have the structural temples built by whom? Built by Narasimhavarman II, also known as Rajsimha. And in the fourth, Nandivarman. See, the name of this temple is Vaikuntha Perumala temple. Vaikuntha Perumala. Where is this? Kanchipuram. Vaikuntha Perumala. So that was all about what? That was all about the Chola temples. So that was all about the Pallava temples. Now coming on to the temples built by the Chola rulers. Chola rulers of early medieval age. I am not talking about the Chola rulers of Sangam age. So under the reign of the Chola rulers, particularly Chola rulers like Raj Raja I, Rajendra I and Raj Raja II, the Dravida architecture reached to its finest form. So let us know the name of the important temples built during the reign of the Chola rulers. Earliest Chola temples are basically replica, you can say, or inspired deeply by the Pallava temples. One of the earliest Chola temples built by Vijayalaya, the founder of the Chola dynasty of Tanjavur. Vijayalaya. So he built Choleswar temple where? At Nartmalai. Then came the Korangnath temple. It was built by whom? It was built by Parantak first. Where? At Srinivas Nallur. So these are basically deeply inspired by the Pallava temples. Now, this is the finest example of the Dravida temple, and the name of this temple is Raj Raja temple or Brihadeshwara temple. Raj Rajeshwara or Raj Raja temple or Brihadeshwara temple. It was built by whom? Raj Raja first. And this temple has been considered as the finest example, the epitome of the Dravida temple. Where is this temple? Answer is, it is in Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. See, the stupika of this particular temple, the weight of this stupika is 80 ton. And this whole temple is made by which material? Granite. In order to make this temple earthquake resistance, they used a kind of, you can say, sandbox technology. Then came the Rajendra first. To near or to the outskirt of Tanjavur, we have a small city called Gangaikond Cholapuram. So Rajendra first did what? He founded a city called Gangaikond Cholapuram, and here he built a magnificent, marvelous Shiva temple. And this temple is called the Shiva temple of Gangaikond Cholapuram. It is located to the outskirt of Tanjavur. Then came the third is the Airavateshwara temple, where at Darasuram or Kumbhakonam, Tamil Nadu. And this Airavateshwara temple built by Raj Raja II. Remember, my dear, the Brihadeshwara temple, the the Shiva temple of Gangaikond Cholapuram, and the third one is the Airavateshwara temple. These three temples are combinedly known as Great Living Chola temples and are under UNESCO's World Heritage Site. Airavateshwara temple, where? Darasuram, Kumbhakonam, Tamil Nadu. So here what I did, I finished about what? About the important features of the Chola temples, important features of the Dravida temples, and prominent temples built by the Pallavas and then by the Cholas. Now from here I am moving towards the temples of Vijayanagar. Sometimes the temples of Vijayanagar Empire considered as an extension of the Dravida temple. Considered as what? Extension of the Dravida temple. Rulers of Vijayanagar like Devraya first, Devraya second, and most importantly Krishna Devraya, they added new dimension to the already existing Dravida temples. The rulers of Vijayanagar, they were art-loving people. They built magnificent temples. Firstly, at Vijayanagar, in near to the river Tungabhadra in the Karnataka, and then they also built several temples not only in Karnataka but also in Andhra region and in the Tamil Nadu region as well. So now let us see the new elements added by the rulers of Vijayanagar in the temple architecture. So see, they added Kalyan Mandapa. Very, very important. Kalyan Mandapa. What was Kalyan Mandapa, dear? Kalyan Mandapa, it was a pillar-based hall. Pillar-based hall, and it was used to organize the marriage ceremony of the temple's main god, Kalyan Mandapa. So from here, I am moving towards our next topic, and that is Vesara temples. Vesara, my dear. Vesara. Already discussed that Vesara temple is a mixture of Nagara and Dravida. Mixture of Nagara and Dravida temples. Like it is built over a raised platform. Star shape raised platform. Let me show you the image. See, star shape, outer projection, star shape platform, raised platform. So raised platform inspired by the Nagara temples. Then the Vimana, the Garbhagriha, inspired by the Dravida temple. So that is why it is considered as the mixture of Nagara and the Dravida temples. Clear? The first thing you must keep in mind. Now, the Vesara temple architectural style flourished where? Flourished in the Deccan region, mainly between Vindhyan range to the river Krishna. And in the growth, in the flourishment, in the development of the Vesara temples, rulers belonging to Chalukya dynasty of Vatapi, Chalukya dynasty of Kalyani, and the Hoysala dynasty of Dwar Samudra, then Kakatiya dynasty of Warangal played very, very important role. In the reign of the Hoysala rulers of Dwar Samudra, where is Dwar Samudra or Halebidu? Karnataka. The Vesara temple architecture reached to its finest form. So now let us see few important temples related to what? Related to the Vesara style of temple architecture. So see, starting with the temples built by, or the Vesara temples built by the Chalukya rulers of Kalyani. So they built temples mainly in the Gadag region of Karnataka. So that is why, so their architectural style sometime also known as Gadag style. And one more name that is associated with the temples built by the Chalukya rulers of Kalyani is the Karnataka Dravid style. Why Karnataka Dravid style? So the temples built by the Chalukyan rulers of Kalyani basically inspired by the Dravida temples. Built where? In which region? Karnataka region. So that is why called Karnataka Dravid. And why it is also called Gadag? Because their temple mainly found in the Gadag region of Karnataka. So see here we have the Mahadev temple. Mahadev temple where? Itagi, Karnataka. Then this is the interior part of the Mahadev temple. One more thing that you must remember about the Vesara, that their interior and as well as exterior is highly decorated, much more than Nagara and also much more than the Dravida. Highly decorated with carved sculptures. This is at Lakundi. Lakundi is in the Gadag district. So here we have so many temples. At Lakundi, my dear, we have more than 50 temples. More than 50 temples. Lakundi, the most prominent one is the Kasi Vishveshwara temple. And sometimes Lakundi is also called the cradle of the stone architecture, or also cradle of the stone craft. Cradle of stone craft. Which one? The Lakundi. Here we have more than 50 temples. Now we are in the reign of the Hoysala rulers of Dwar Samudra or Halebidu. So in the reign of the Hoysala rulers, the Vesara temple architecture reached to its finest form. See here, we have we have the Kesava temple, where at Somnathpura. Kesava temple, Somnathpura. This temple is an example of Trikuta temple. Trikuta means what? One hall or one mandapa and three Garbhagriha. Trikuta temple. Then this is the Channa Kesava temple. Channa Kesava temple. Where is Channa Kesava? Belur. Remember these name of the temples. Very, very important. Somnathpura, Kesava temple. Then Channa Kesava temple. Where? At Belur. And the third is the Hoysaleshwar temple. It was built by Vishnuvardhan in the 12th century AD. Built by Vishnuvardhan in the 12th century AD. See the interior, see the exterior. Well decorated or highly decorated with what? With the carved sculptures. Now the Hoysaleshwar temple of Halebidu or Dwar Samudra. Hoysaleshwar temple of Halebidu or Dwar Samudra, number 1. Number 2 is the Channa Kesava temple, Belur, and number 3 the Kesava temple of Somnathpura. These three are what? Are under UNESCO's World Heritage Site. When declared World Heritage Site? Around 2023. Clear? So from here I am moving towards our next temple, and this is the Ramappa temple. It is one of you can say only temple in India which has been named on the basis of its main sculptor and the mason worker. Ramappa was the main sculptor, architect and mason worker of this particular temple. Where is this temple? It is in the Telangana region, and it was built in the Kakatiya period around 13th century AD. It was built not by the ruler, rather by his minister Richarla Deva, declared as World Heritage Site in the year 2021. What is so special about this temple? See here, the Shikhar. Here the mason worker, architect, they used floating bricks, very lightweight bricks. If you will keep them, put them in the water, those bricks are not going to sink. So that is why it is called floating bricks. And in order to make this temple earthquake resistance, they used a sandbox technology. So this was all about Ramappa temple. So my dear, here what we finished? We finished the Nagara temple, Dravida temple and the Vesara temple. And normally you may expect one question related to temple architecture in your prelims examination. So that was all about today's topics. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.